Hi. So, next installment, it's still to do with the album that I brought out last year. So, it has 13 tracks on it, and you can download it on any digital outlet. So, the third song that I put on there was called Abundant Life. And it was a funny one because, sorry, um, there was a lot going on in the song. And I remember thinking, what am I singing about? And then it was like, oh, yeah, I remember. So basically, it was drawing from a lot of different experiences, but the main one was when I believe, um, God said to me to go to Brazil, and I spent about 4 months in South America. Didn't just go to Brazil, but um, during that time, I'd met a lot of people within the church. It was like my new church family. I went and did some volunteering at a hospital in Argentina. I went all around, well, not all around South America, but I went to a couple of places. But there were so many awesome things that happened on that trip that I was just like, this is blowing my mind. I didn't realize traveling with God was such an adventure. And so, abundant life came from the scripture that says that he came to give us life and life more abundantly. Jesus came to give us life and life more abundantly. And I really was feeling as if I was in the midst of that. There were so many places that I went to in Brazil, and, I always felt protected and covered and safe. When I first got there, I was with a host family because I was studying to be a teacher to teach English. And then suddenly the trajectory of my trip went a different way. And because I was praying about it, I was thinking, I've been working all this time. And so I'm just coming over here to work again. Saved up my money and everything else. And it was like, I kept feeling that I wanted to travel, wanted to see Brazil, wanted to see other parts of South America. And I thought, you know what? Let's go for it. Prayed about it. And I'd already had my little like travel guidebook and stuff like that. And so, yeah, the adventures began. And as I said, I met a lovely church family in the south of Brazil in Florianopolis. And they embraced me. They took me in. I went to their different people's houses for dinner. Stayed over at someone's house. Little kiddies were singing and dancing and stuff for me. It was just like I was part of a family. I never really experienced that over here, weirdly enough. But yeah, it was such a sense of I belong, and I was invited to work with some missionaries, and so that's where the volunteering came in. So when I went to Buenos Aires, um, out of curiosity, I went there, and yeah, I was invited. I just so happened to bump in to a missionary, and she said, "Oh, we sing and we entertain sick children at the hospital. Would you like to come?" So I went and I volunteered my time. Had such a lovely time with them. Lovely, lovely people. I never really experienced anything like that again. It's just the weirdest thing. And my Portuguese and my Spanish was very, very poor at the time, but somehow I managed to um, get by. And I've got to say, there was many, many other things, many miracles that happened that time. Went to see a brilliant choir in Brazil. I'll have to see if I can remember the name. But even to get to see this choir, it was a miracle in itself. I'd heard them on the radio, and anyway, there's a long story, but anyway, I heard them on the radio, and I managed to catch the name. And then weeks later, I saw a poster, and I was thinking, is it them? I couldn't, because my obviously, like I said, my Portuguese was terrible, but somehow I managed to see the same choir heard on the radio. And when I got to the concert and they started singing this song that I'd heard, I was like, that's them. And I couldn't believe it. It was just awesome. So, Abundant Life, long story short, is, yeah, really about, allowing God to fulfill the desires of your heart and yeah, living life and having adventures and stepping out in faith. So that's really what it was about. So yeah, a lot of people thought I was crazy and thought, oh, why are you going over there? You know, it's a dangerous place and all the rest of it. But I literally, I'm telling you, no lies, I was not in danger at any point in time. So, and I felt really loved on and accepted. So that's where Abundant Life comes from. And very catchy tune, nice upbeat tune. Played many a times now on various radio stations, and yeah, check it out.